Just cover it up. Oh, there we are. Hello. I saw somebody pop on. I'm choosing some colors while I'm waiting to see who's going to pop in. Hi, Karen. We're going to color them. Oh, I've got 5 people on here. Wow, that was...
I'm showing a strong signal.
Okay, looks like I froze up there for a second. I think I'm okay now, but it's acting a little crazy tonight, so I hope we don't have any trouble. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Karen. Hi, Rinska. Hello, hello. So, last night we conquered the last 2 stamps of Life is Good. So we did that before I left for the show. We did these 2 last night. And so tonight, hi Melanie, tonight we're going to venture into some Egyptian stuff. So the mummy for sure, because it was requested last night. And then I was going to choose one other one. I'm good. Hi Barb. Hi, Cheryl. I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. Hi, Michelle. So I thought you guys could tell me which one of the other 3 you wanted me to color tonight. So I can do the girl with the cat, or I can do this Queen of Denials, what she looks like to me. Or this guy right here, this Pharaoh guy. So, hi, Linda. So I would kind of letting you guys tell me which one. I already have the mummy on there. And I thought I would let you guys pick. I'm torn. I like them all, so I don't know which one to pick. But I picked colors for the mummy, and we can pick colors for the rest later. But we have to decide which other one we're going to do. So the mummy for sure. I got my ink ready. Colorless blender. Hi Marisol. Anybody have any suggestions, or should I just jump in? This one, the Pharaoh. Hey Meg. Okay, well, you see, you're quick on the draw. You're the first one to say it, so that's what it's going to be. That's what we're going to do tonight. No worries for the rest of you or anyone who might want a different one, but we'll do the other 2 the next time I go live. It won't be tomorrow because I'm going out with my hubby to celebrate our anniversary that I missed when I went on my trip to California. So, but Jamie will do a live tomorrow. I just don't know what time. And then I'll be back maybe Tuesday next week. And then I leave on Wednesday for the last show. So, hi Francine. So yeah, it'll be great. Thank you. 26 years. Super happy. Even after 26 years, I'm super happy. I don't sound happy because I'm tired, not because I'm not happy. I'm very happy. I'm going to stamp it twice just because I can. And there we go. All right, so we got that going on for us. All right, so I finished up that scrapbook I was working on yesterday. Pretty exciting. Not too shabby. So I'm happy I got it done. I don't have to worry about it. Now I got to get it delivered and then I'm good. Thanks, Cheryl. Hello, Francine. Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Hopefully I catch everyone when they come on. Thank you. Yes, it's super great. I'm super happy. Okay, so I'm just putting my little guys back in here. I do have a little white piece on top of this one where I did a masking when I did something, so. And I got my new glasses today, so bear with me. They're a little bit stronger than what I had before, so getting used to them is going to take a little bit of time. Hi, June. Hey, Mama. So these are my new glasses. They are the pair glasses, so I have Halloween on them. But they're a little bit hard. They're a little bit hard to get used to, but okay. Gonna zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna start with this little guy right here. It looks like I'm freezing just like this part right here is definitely going to be skin color. But any other place that you want to put skin color in, like you can choose your own spots. So I try to choose a few so it looks like he's got some skin showing in different areas. I don't know that I always do it exactly the same every time, but we're going to choose that with our first color, which is going to be E000. So, and I am going to work on him, all of his skin tones all at one time. So, yeah, I keep buffering too. Let's do like we did before. When I can see it buffering on my side, look, I've lost 5 people due to this crazy buffering. I'll put my finger up like this when it's, and that means I've paused to wait for my screen to tell me it's not buffering so you guys don't miss anything. So I'm just wetting the paper with this E000, and I'm just going to choose a couple of spots that I'm going to put skin tone color on. And I just kind of pick these at random. Anything, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I just asked Dale to turn off his internet to hopefully that'll cut down on my end. But yeah, that's very frustrating. So I'm just choosing some skin tone areas because I like to show a little bit of the skin tone when I'm coloring. I don't do any in the body because I don't want to show his belly or anything. But I am going to do a few little spots. Maybe we'll do, I don't know, they just kind of speak to me when they're actually skin. So maybe his little foot down here, his little heel right here, and maybe his little toes. It just kind of speaks to me where I should put some skin tone. So now we're going to start with our almost time for the retreat. Yay! Yeah, it's okay. I understand. You can always watch the replay. So I'm going to come in with my E04 and I'm going to put some shadow area up here. Now, there's a lot of shadow on this, I think, because, I mean, he is wrapped up like a mummy. So, I'm going to keep the colors a little more dark than I normally would. Just to give him a little bit of that dark shadow. So I really want you to be able to see that his clothes are overlapping. So there we go. Now we're going to come in with E11. Okay, so E11. And I am going to make sure that I'm pushing the color back into the dark because I really want it to stay more dark. These little tiny spots, I'm probably just going to leave them the darkest colors so you can see them. I mean, we are doing the rest in warm gray tones, so it'll definitely stand out. I'm going to do the little tips of his fingers too. Okay, and then I know it seems crazy to put this many colors in a small area, but I like it. I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me. E21 is next. So I am going to touch over those parts that I made pretty dark, leaving a little bit in the wider spaces. It won't look real dark when we get finished, so I feel comfortable doing it that way. E00 is the last one. I'm very excited about that, Michelle. So I'm just going to touch kind of lightly over this. I don't want to lighten it up too much. Just going to touch the one areas where I want the lighter color to be. I'm not going to touch them all. Just a few of them. So we'll see how this goes, but generally when I'm doing this, because I want it to be really dark, I go back in with the darkest shade for this top part right here and just put a little bit more in there because I really want that darkness to stay. So I want it to really look like a shadow. So I'm going to do that on this larger spot as well. And that one. And this one. And this one. But I'm not going to go in with all the other colors. Now, I don't normally do that when I'm coloring skin tones, but for this particular purpose, I am. Hi, Mary Jo. So, I've chosen a few areas in which to put the skin tone on there. And now we're going to go in with the W's. Now, I chose 4, 2, and 0, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I want to switch that up so I can put a couple more colors in there. So I'm going to change this to 0, 0. And then I'm going to put 1 in there, and 2, and 4, and I'm going to put 5 in there as well. So I'm going to do 5, 4, 2, 1, 0, 0. You could pretty much choose any of these colors that you want, any of the W's that you wanted, or you could use C's or T's or whatever you want. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with W5. Now this is going to be really dark, so I really only want to put this where the overlapping areas are. So I'm just going to put these where I think the overlapping is. I'm not going to do any more detail with this particular one because it's so dark for what I'm doing. Because I don't want this mummy to look like he's in gray. Aw, I'm sorry, Meg. Okay, thank you. I hope it gets better for you guys. Hubby's turned off everything else in the house that was internet related, so hopefully it gets better. So there, you can already see some color popping out up here that you don't see down here, giving a little bit of dimension. So that's the reason I chose to put in the really, really dark color instead of sticking with what I was going to. So I'm just kind of giving him a little bit of fold where his arm's going to bend. This is overlapping here. This is overlapping here. And you can choose whatever you see, wherever you see it overlapping, that's where I would put it if I were you. So you get to choose what you see when you're looking at the artist's work, where you see the overlapping. I put a little bit more around the back side because it's all in shadow. Like on his little bum. Looks like there should be a little fold right there as well. I am going to do a little bit up here because this leg is overlapping the other leg. And I don't usually do the whole thing at one time, but I'm just feeling like we can get through it all at one time tonight. Plus, I'm okay with it drying just a little. I do want it to stay pretty dark, so I feel kind of comfortable with that. I don't with every project, but this particular one is a little bit different because he is a mummy and I do color him a little bit different than I would normally color a regular person. So there we go. We have all our darkest shade in there. Now I'm going to switch to W4 and I'm not going to use a whole lot of it just because it's going to be pretty dark as well. When I get to W2 is when I'm going to put a lot more in there. So this is W4. And now I'm going to extend out from where I put that darkest shade and I'm going to start putting in a little bit of other shadow. So I'm just doing it kind of slow so I don't get too much ink on the paper. I don't want to get too much on there. I want him to stay gray. I don't want him to be dirty clothes mummy. Well, they kind of are a little dirty, but you know what I mean. In real life, it looks a bit darker than what you guys are seeing on camera. So I'm just going to be a little bit cautious. So notice I'm just barely touching in a few places to kind of keep that. Put a little bit of color in there, but not a whole lot. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn him around a little bit so I can color a little bit more going in this direction. When we start getting to the really light colors, it'll start washing some of this out and making it a little bit lighter. So it'll work out really well. So I don't mind putting a little bit of this color in there. So don't be afraid, even though you're trying to make it look more of a white color, don't be afraid to put some of this darker color in there. Because you'll need it to show the shadow. Okay. So he's starting to come to life now. I'm loving it. Oh, no problem. Hi, Michelle. We were having a little bit of internet issue at the beginning. I think it's getting a little better. At least I hope it is. We're going to switch now from W4 to W2. This is the true color, so it's going to be lighter, and I'm going to use it more liberally. I don't want to wash out all my color, so I'm going to be careful with it still. But again, I'm just extending out from where I put those original colors in there. You can really tell how it's just starting to come to life right before your eyes. It's going from a white piece of paper to a little bit gray. Now you could do these with those E43, 41, whatever. You could do those colors too, and I bet it would look pretty cool. I like to use the W's, but I have used the E41, 43, 44 kind of stuff as well. And it looks pretty good too. So it just takes a little bit of patience doing this one. It's kind of a repeat, so I don't really have a lot to say about it. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. Just being cautious. Not to fill it all in, but to get enough of it in there. We won't use a lot of the last color. It will just be for highlight. I missed a spot right there. If you can tell that you missed a spot, that means you're shading really well because you can see the difference. Once I start getting down to these really small areas, I just kind of, you know. Did you do anything before starting the mummy? I did not. This is the first thing I've done. I'm going to do this little guy next. So we still have a bit to go tonight. Now I'm going to go back up and touch this one that I missed earlier. So there we go. That is W2. Now W1, I'm going to do most of the filling in the rest because W00 will wash out, will move the color around. So this one will probably be most of the finish up, and then just very light highlight areas is where we'll use the last color. So not blending for a long time, just a really light coat over there, leaving some very slight areas. You can tell because this guy is still white and that guy is not. So you can kind of start seeing now why I like putting a little bit of skin tone in between. Like he's mummied up, but he's still got skin tone color. Now you don't have to do that. That's a little bit of a zombie trick. You can make it red with blood and all kinds of cool stuff. So you just decide what you want to do with your little guy and go to town. You could color it a bunch of different ways. This guy is very universal. You could do him for Halloween. You could do him for the Egyptian. Just so universal. You could do it for somebody at the hospital. You could do it baby shower. I guess if it was a couple's shower, because you know they always wrap you up in toilet paper and see how many kids you're going to have or whatever. Or maybe that's a wedding. I don't remember. Something like that. So this is the W00, and I'm only going to touch the areas where I want the lightest color to be. It will smooth out and also move color. I like it, but I'm not going to touch everything. A little bit on the tops here. The top of this one. Like just the tops of these ones. And I'll hold this up in a minute because it's much darker than what you're seeing on screen. See, it's got a lot more dark color in it than what it looks like. I could probably use a little bit more on his head. So I'll probably go back in. I think I was conservative with that. I'll go back in with the W4 and just add just a little bit more. I think he needs a few more marks to show more shadow. Just right there. And maybe right here, I think, are the two spots that needed just a little bit more. There we go. And I like that better. I'll put a little bit right here too. There we go. I think that works really well. So there you go. That's all you have to do. Hi, Jessie. That's all you have to do for the mummy. That was pretty simple. Went pretty clean. You don't have to make it really smooth because it is wrapped up all over him, so all good on that. I think I'm going to stick with the same color combo for this guy, although I'm going to use a little bit more heavy on the color because I want him to be a little bit darker, but he's super cute. And you saw how simple and fast he was to color. He's pretty easy to color. That's why I knew that we could do another one, because I knew he was going to be super simple. So I'm going to start with this cute little guy right here. Our little Pharaoh. And I'm not going to do him all in one shot. I'm going to do his face and his neck, and then we'll go and do his body. So I'm just going to wet the paper with this E000 and his neck. And then we'll do the rest of him later. I'm not going to use any blush on his cheeks because I don't think he needs it. I don't want him to look all girly like. E04. So I'm going to start putting some dark E04 in here. I feel like this headdress is really covering his head. So I want quite a bit of dark in there on this one. And I'm going to go over it again in the deepest part so it'll stay really dark in those little areas. So there we go. We got the starts. Next, we're going to use E11. I'm glad you like the mummy. He's super cute. He's very fun. He would be very fun for Halloween. So I'm going just along the edge where I put that darkest color, but trying not to wash out the darkest color. I'm going to put a little bit over here. I think I'm going to do a little bit on his nose, just a little bit, right over top of where that line is. Kind of helps keep his nose with some definition, even though I'm not a big fan of doing noses. E21 will be next. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to extend out a little bit further. This is the true color one. So well, the other one was actually the true color, but this is the second to the last one. I want him to stay a little bit darker. I don't know why. Maybe because they're out in the sun all day. I feel like he needs a little bit more sun, more tan. So this is my 00, 0. And I'm just going to touch it a couple times until I feel like it's smoothed out a little bit. Because I don't want to leave him with any big splotches. So we got him going. If I hold it up, you can see I left some pretty deep color up there by his hat. Or his headdress, or whatever you want to call it. But I want it to stay that way, so. Okay, I'm going to go back in just for the heck of it with my E11 to deepen this up just a little bit. Hi Jesse, I saw that it froze up there for a second, so I just wanted you guys to know that's why I held my finger out, so you would know that I knew it froze up on my end. I could see it. And so I stop talking when I see it freeze up, so you can keep up with what I'm doing. Nothing ever comes out right. Are you talking about coloring? There we go. See, I love that skin tone. I think that's really good. I like that. All right, now we have to try to replicate that again down here on his body. I think autocorrect did some weird stuff on your message because I'm not sure I know exactly what no cool good joint V8 in me means. I hate it when autocorrect changes what you're trying to say. It happens to me all the time. All the time. And I'm going to do his chest at the same time. We're going to do all of this, but I'll do his legs separately because I really need to focus a bit on this chest here to emphasize some of his abs. So again, just like before, I'm going to use E04. And I'm going to put some of that really dark, a little bit thick up here. And a little bit down muscle-wise. I'm going to do some over here and underneath his chest. I don't usually use this much dark, but on this, because I really want that to appear to be muscular, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this dark color in there. That way I can keep his abs going. And this part where his hands meet up needs to be pretty dark as well. Okay. Jesse, do you color very often? Sometimes it's helpful to keep repeating, even if it feels like it's not coming out right. You have to kind of learn the markers. So you kind of have to do a few times before, coloring the same thing a few times before you really get what you want it to do. You're very loud chewer over there eating grapes. You guys, can you hear Dale chewing his grapes?
Sorry.
I can. Maybe you can't. It's very obvious to me. Just trying to build in some depth in his abs here. The artist kind of gave you some drawn lines, so you don't necessarily have to do it unless you just really want to, but I really want him to look like he is very intimidatingly muscular. And that was my plan when I started, so I needed to give him some good abs going on there. She can't hear you eating them, but enjoy them. I can hear him. It's very loud to me. I'm glad you guys can't hear him. That's a good thing. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but my E21 is pretty dark compared to most people. So yours probably, when you color with it, won't be as dark as mine. And that's what I mean by getting to know your markers.
I think we need to work on repositioning things.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause
Yes, it did buffer.
I have a strong signal out in the living room.
My hubby says he's going to work on it. So maybe he can figure out what's wrong with it. And it'll stop doing that in the future. I know it's frustrating. I'm sorry. And I appreciate those who are hanging out, grinning and bearing it with me. So I'm leaving him some... Oh, can't hear Dale munching on his grapes over here in my ear. I can hear him very loudly. And I said, I hope you guys can't hear him.
That's fine.
And Cheryl said she couldn't hear him. I know I did freeze. When I see it freeze, I'm doing this so you guys know that it froze and that I'm not speaking, because I don't want you to miss I don't want you to miss the coloring because it froze. Okay, this is E00. This is our last color, so we're just going to put that in where we want the highlights to be. And just like with the face, we have to go back in with the dark color or the face won't match the body. And we need his face to match his body. Okay, so he's close, but not quite there. So we have to go back in with our E11, just like we did with the forehead. I won't lie, my new glasses won't stay on my face. I'm going to have to go and have them sized, because they keep falling down while I'm trying to color. So I'm building in just some more of that depth is all I'm doing right now to keep that muscular look. A few spots got a little bit darker, like right here, than I really wanted them, but that's okay, because we're going to go, you can hear him, Michelle? I knew that was going to happen. I'm going in with my E21 now, and I'm just going to kind of soften up some of those spots, and then I'll go in with my E00. So just trying to make sure we keep this pretty dark here. And then I'm going to go in with my E00 and kind of lighten a little bit, smooth a little bit of those areas I just added extra color to, so it doesn't look so obvious. So I'm barely touching the paper. It's very, very lightly so that I can blend but not wash color away.
He's jacked and tanned.
Bones for Jack. She can hear Jack. There we go. Okay, now it will appear slightly darker than his face until it dries, and then it will dry about the same. So as you can see, we're just kind of working that so that we can really get some good color on this guy. So I'm going to work on his legs, because right now he looks like he didn't get any sun at all on his legs. He's got albino legs. Sort of look like my legs. I don't get a lot of sun on my legs either. Are you guys excited about doing this headdress? Ooh-wee. We could do it traditional black and gold, but that's what I did on the packaging. So I kind of want to try different colors. So you guys can think about what colors sound cool to you. I think Jack would love you, Michelle, because you're always giving him bones. He'd be so happy. Now we're going to have some shadowing here where his clothes are overlapping. This kind of makes me think of girls' shoes. I can't help myself. I know they're sandals, and I know they're Egyptian, and it's normal. The only other times I've colored these kind of shoes were on girls. There we go. Gotta spoil the babies. Yep, sure do. I think I need to clean these markers up here pretty soon. I have not had time to do it, and you know how I don't like it when mine get dirty. I think we froze up again, so I stopped talking. What I was saying when we froze was my E04 is dirty and I need to clean it. I'm just extending out from where the last color was. I will upload this to YouTube so you guys can watch the replay there or in the group. It'll be in the group as well. So if you need to or want to watch the replay, you can see it there. Next one's E21. You think it's because we don't have the overhead light on? Honey? It's not. Thank you to the 4 of you who keep sticking in there with me. I really appreciate it. I know it's frustrating. I'm stopping though as soon as I see it's freezing up, so you guys don't have to worry about that. That E21 is dirty too. Yikes! Okay, this is E00. I'm just going to fill in that little bit on his legs so I can smooth that out. I don't want to wash that color out too much. But see how his body lightened to match, his chest lightened to match his face? So don't be worried when you're coloring to thinking that it's going to be too dark, because it lightens up a little bit as it dries. So it's not. And they always look darker on the paper until you start putting in the other colors. So just keep going. Don't give up. Never give up, never surrender. Adding the E11 back in just like we did on the other parts, just so we can make sure that our legs match the rest of our body. Anytime when you're coloring, whenever you do the face, whatever you do to the face, you have to do to the rest of the body or it won't match. So that's what we're doing right now, is making it a little bit darker so it matches the rest of the body. All I did was close the marker when we froze up that time. So here's E00. Just blend that out so it matches up nicely. And now they'll appear to be a little bit darker than the rest of the body, but that is until it dries, and then it will be all good. I think I got all the skin tones. So for now, I'm going to take those colors away. Do we want to do blue and black, blue and gold? Anybody want to make a suggestion? Or do we want to do weird colors like purple, green? I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions?
Do a rainbow headdress.
Oh no, I don't want it. Okay, no comments, no comments. Let's start with blue and then since I didn't color blue on the packaging, let's start with blue. I am going to have to test out these blue colors though, because I don't know what color blue I want to use, but I'm pretty sure I want to use B37 and 39. I really like them. They're very dark but very royal blue-ish. So that's 39. This one's 37. This one's 26. So far so good. Then I think I want to go to, let's see what happens if we put in this B66, which is almost like a little bit of a purple base. I kind of like that. And then okay, I said maybe we'll do 63. That one is really, really light. So I might have to change that, but we can decide that as we go along. So I'm going to do with the 63 before I set up my colors. What I'm going to do is mark where I want the blue color to go so that I don't mess it up. Okay. So let's do the blue as the main color. So let's do that. We're going to do this one as blue and his belt is blue. And then I'm going to do every other one of these blue. This is the easiest way to mark what you're going to do so that you don't color the wrong thing. Since we're going to have so much blue down here, I'm going to make this, his part on his shoulders, a different color. And then I'm going to start here. Blue, 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 and blue. On the other side, I'm going to start them in the same spot. Blue, and there's one tiny spot up there, and then on this part up here I want it to be okay, so I've selected where I want to put the blue so that I can really see it. I think I'm going to make his shoes and his whatever you call that, staff or whatever, a gray color. Probably use the same gray markers I already used before. So B39, B37, B26, hi Yvonne, B66, and then 63 for now is our decision. We might change this one, but we'll see as we go how well it blends and how well it works. So let's go ahead and get started with B39. And B39 is where I'm going to put all the deepest, darkest colors. So we're going to start down here on the part that's tucked under and the part that goes around his waist. For this part right here, I'm going to start the dark on the bottom. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of a little bit to show that it's kind of folded up there. So I'm not going to put a whole lot on there, just a little bit for now. Then we're going to do a little bit right here and a little bit right here. So you see why I marked them with blue so I could remember. It makes it so much easier. Just use your lightest color because it will blend right into your colors. And it'll work out great for you. So I usually do that when I'm doing anything checkered or anything striped. That way I don't mess up on the sequence that I'm trying to do. So up here, I'm going to do just the top portions like they're overlapping. Kind of want to put a little bit of color into that. I'm also tending to make sure that the light's going this way, so that back side of him, that's why I'm putting more color on all the way on the edge, and I didn't do it on this side. So that'll kind of give you the reason why I'm doing that. Okay, this is overlapping a little right here, so we're going to put some there. This is overlapping here, so we're going to put some there. And then this one, because it's rounded over his head, is going to have some at the top. And then I'm going to put just a little bit in this corner because I think that this little cobra would be shadowing some of that. Now there was one little corner up there and I want that to be really blue. This one, his face is shadowing it. So, and notice how I'm holding my marker up very straight up in the air so I can get the very tip of that marker. So I can get a super fine line on there. So there we go. This is the darkest shade, the B39. Looks a little funny with that little blue stripe on it, but it's what's helping me know what color I'm going to put where. Okay, so now we're going to start again on the belt where we were before, and we're just going to extend out just a little bit. So again, holding my marker upright because I don't want to have too much color in there. And holding my marker upright helps a lot. There we go. So we're starting to get some color going on that little flap he has in the front. Okay, and then we're going to move up here to this top part. We're going to come down just a little bit from where we put our last color. So we're kind of extending from where we put the last color, just putting in more depth in there. We're getting there. I think these parts right here that are hidden are just going to stay the darkest shade. There we go. So sorry. That was a long one this time. Hi, Janice. What I was saying is now we're going to go to B26, which is our third color in the color combo. So it's the true color. So it's going to have a little bit more of that color than the other one. Remember, our next color is going to have a purple base, so it's going to change this color up just slightly, but not a lot. Just a little bit. You'll probably be able to see it in this flap really well because there's going to be a lot more of it here than in the rest of his, whatever they call these skirt things for dudes. Since this is our true color, that's why I'm going around the outside. Now we're going to move up here.
These are starting to get to be really small spaces, so we have to be careful, and we have to save room for our other colors. See, it's a good thing I marked which ones I was coloring blue, because I almost colored the wrong thing.
So we all do that, I guess. All right, so next color, B66. That's the one we're going to work on next. This one's going to take most of the color. I'm going to color most of it in, and then I'm going to go over it with that last color, just to highlight, because it's going to move. It's got a lot of colorless blender in it, so it's going to move the color around a little bit. I kind of like this purple with it. This B66, it has more of a purple base, so it's really going to change that bluish color. I kind of like that. But then again, you guys who watch me all the time, you know that I like to mix the colors. I like to come up with my own new color that's super pretty and has two different shades in it, just like the blue we did the other night. Okay, so one last color to go. That's B63. It's going to be really light, so we're going to have to be careful we don't get too light in there.
So I'm going to use the tip of my marker just to go over, kind of with a back and forth motion. And I'm not going to sit on the paper very long.
I want to leave it light, but I don't want to move the color around too much.
So this one's going to be a back and forth.
Probably needed a little bit more of B66 in here in order for that to blend nicely. So I'm just going to add that while it's wet.
And then I'm going to go in with this one again and just kind of wash it out just a tad.
You see how that lightened it up a little bit? Even though I put the darker
Shade in there, it still lightened it up a little bit. We don't want to do it too much. If we do it too much, we have to go in with
66 and fix it just a little bit. So I'm kind of going to be two-fisting color in here for a minute.
You could do this tip to tip, or you could do like I'm doing it.
It's up to you. It's your choice.
Either way works just fine.
There we go.
Might be one little spot right here that's going to get significantly lighter here in a second when it dries.
So there we go. Hi, Christina. How are you doing? Thank you for jumping on. No one has suggested another color for this poor little dude's outfit. So at this point, he is what he is. I'm thinking maybe black. Give him, yeah, I did try to give him a six-pack. Figured he needed it. Purple. Okay. do that. Let's see. What purple do we want to use? I think yellow. Yellow might be fun. Oh, 2 purples. Might be purple then. BV08 is the darkest one. Fluorescent purple. Okay, we can put that in there. VO9. I can put fluorescent purple in there. No problem. We're going to go with this V17. Let's try this fluorescent now. Yeah, FV2. Look at that. That's super cool. FV2, and then I wonder if 15 will be too dark. Oh no, that one will work nicely. Let's do that. All right, there we go. We got 5 colors. We got BV08, so we're mixing color families a little. V09. We have V17. We have FV2, which is our fluorescent color. And then we're going to pop back in with V15. So we're going to rock that fluorescent here in just a little bit. I think I'm going to leave this little guy alone, and this and his shoes. And I think they'll all be a blackish gray, and maybe even maybe he'll be an old dude. Okay, so starting with BV08, I am going to start down here, and I'm just going to do these little bit of this color because it's really, really dark, kind of like we did before. And then here, and it will pop out and be much more vibrant here in just a few minutes, so bear with me. Purple is royalty. See, that's great. There we go. Why not go non-traditional? I colored them traditional already, so I don't need to necessarily go the traditional route. I'm going to put just a little bit up underneath this little beard thing hanging off of him, which, by the way, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of facial hair as it is. I am going to put a little bit in here. They look kind of the same color right now, but they won't as we continue to keep coloring him. So he needs a little bit all around this snake. Using the tip of my marker so I can get really fine brush strokes. All right, there we go. Nice. That was easy peasy. VO9 is going to be very dark as well. So we're going to use that very sparingly as well because I don't want to make this too dark. So just a little bit. Missed a spot right there. Okay, we're moving him right along. And his brighter colors are coming up quick. And we're doing good rocking this all at the same time rather than coloring him in sections. I usually color in sections, but
I figured we were going to color this one up pretty quick, so not too quick because we have to take our time around these very small spots, but
okay, here we go. Now the color's going to change up a bit. V17 is much lighter than V09. It is the third color in the combo, but I'm still going to be a little bit careful because we want to rock the fluorescent color. So I'm going to leave enough space for that to really be apparent. You can really see it starting to look more purple now. It doesn't really look more purple in the video to me, but I'll show you here in a little bit. It will be definitely purple when we get done. I'm also going to leave that little area right there for the fluorescent color because I think it will be helpful to make it stand out. All right. Replay. Kathy, we're actually live. So you're watching us live right now, not even replay. FV2. This is our fluorescent. This is going to really change up the color. You guys ready? Going to change that to really, really purple. It's a little bit hard to see on the camera. So I'm going to hold it up real quick so you guys can really see that purple in there. You'll be able to see it pretty good up here, how purpley that is. And the last color is going to be really bright purple, so it's going to help as well. I can really see it, but I think the video isn't doing it quite the justice it will have when it's done. But it's super cool. Okay. This B15 is going to make it much brighter, I think. I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Kind of mixing those colors together. And look at that. Look at how purple that changed it. Isn't that beautiful purple? I love it. Because I know the colors, I knew it was going to lighten up to be really purple. Hi, Linda. And I knew you guys were going to like it, so... You can really see it up here in this big area right here. Very purple up there. Here we go. We're just touching it long enough for it to really start blending, and then we have to stop so it can finish blending when we stop. Yes, he does look very royal. I love it. I love it. I was a little nervous about doing two
significantly dark colors together, but wow, this looks really great. I like it a lot. It's coming together very nicely.
Look at that. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I almost want to do his shoes that color too. But I'm not going to. I love it. It's gorgeous. I'm going to go back to these same W4, 5, 4, 2, 1, and 0, 0. Just so we can use the same colors we used before on this one. I'm going to start, I'm going to do his beard a different color. But I'm going to start with this deepest color right in here on this snake. But I'm not going to do his head just yet. Just the back side. But I'm not going to do his head yet. I'm going to do his shoes at the same time. I'm going to do his staff separately. I feel like I need just a little bit more time on that. So, I'm going to do it separately. That's one up, Mommy. See what happens when you get tired? Oh, I know what happens when you get tired. But the purple looks amazing. I really love it. I'm so glad we did it. So this is W4. And I'm going to do in between these areas right here because I want this to look scaly, I guess, if you will. Still not going to do his face though. Still going to leave that go for now. I am going to finish up the underside of his shoes though because I want them to stay darker than the rest. Because I want the rest of his shoes to be really light gray. We may not even get to the W0 because these spaces are so small on the shoes. So W2, that's where I'm going to start filling this one out. If I don't like this when I get done, I can always change it to gold. I can just put that gold multi-liner that gold gel pen right over top of it and make it gold. But I don't know. I kind of like it gray. We'll see. We'll see when we get done what we think. Yeah, I think I'm going to finish these shoes off with the W2. So I don't think I need the other two colors in there. They'll make them too light. I kind of like them that color right there. But I am going to keep going on the snake with these light colors. W1 is going to be on the top of the snake's head. And then W00 is going to be the face. And maybe just a little bit in that part of the inside of that. I think we're going to go back to W5 though and deepen this up just a little bit because I feel like it really needs to separate the snake a little bit more. I'm going to have to go back in with W2 and blend that out just a little bit. So it's not too
dominating.
But there we go. I think I like that better. It makes it stand out just a little bit more. Now we're going to work on this staff thing. I don't know what they really call that. I'm calling it a staff, but they probably call it something entirely different back then. So I'm starting with my W5. I'm going to do this bottom part right here and then just a little bit on the side right there. Also underneath and right here. And then I'm going to do it here where it overlaps a little bit, where it's coming out of his hand on both sides. And then the part that's on the ground. I like when I use the colors together because then I can use them on the same card if I want. I love that though. We may use those colors on the girls too because it's so pretty. And we just almost always, everyone makes them gold. And I just like that we're doing it a little bit different tonight. Extending out a little bit further on the inside because it's behind the light source. W2. Sort of blending this out just a little bit. I want it to look a little bit rustic, so I definitely want to use these lighter colors in there because that'll help give that impression of a more of a rustic look rather than, and shiny, sort of rustic in a few areas but very shiny in other areas. So W1. And then we have one more color after that, so I'm going to make sure most of it is colored in except for the highlight area for my last color. And it's going to be very light. I like it though. W00, that's where I'm going to touch right here. And then right here, and then right here, and down here. And there we go. And now it looks a little shiny, a little rustic, whichever way you want to look at it. I think we need to do his little beard, and then we're finished. So I think we need it to stand out a little bit, so I am going to do it in brown colors, but I'm going to do it in 3 colors. I'm going to do E49, which is going to be really dark, and then I'm going to use E27, which will sort of brighten it up a little bit, and then E23 for some really good highlight. So 49 is first, and when I do this, I'm going to do just in these areas that are overlapped. So not a whole lot, but enough to give us some shadow effect. Christina, don't drop the phone on your face while you're watching. If you do, okay, so it paused for a moment, so I stopped. I did get the E27 in right before it stopped, so what we have left is just a little bit, but this is where we're going to use E23 to blend this out. It'll keep it light enough that you'll be able to see the detail in his little beard, but not too dark to where you're like, does he have a big brown spot on his face? I think he looks super cool. What do you think? Do you like him? I was worried about that being gray, but I like it. I think it looks really good. I am going to do one more thing before we close up for tonight. I'm not going to make a card because the internet is acting insane tonight for me. So, we'll do cards when I go live again. So I'm going to use my white gel pen, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white in his eyes because I think that helps a lot. I am going to do it on the mummy as well. I think that makes a big difference. It makes him look really, really good. You love him? Yay! Yay! I'm so glad you guys like it. Don't you love it when we use different colors? So originally the package looks like this. I'm pretty sure that when I did this one, I used a few other colors in the mix. So I think I used like some greenish colors. And then this one, we did just the W. So together, they look different, but they're super awesome. Thank you. Hi, Sharon. And then this is the one we did tonight. So quite a difference, but still super awesome. And I like the brighter colors. Good call on that, you guys. So glad you helped me out with the colors. Think of how pretty these girls would look with those colors too. That would be really good. Okay, so we'll do these girls the next time. And I won't be live tomorrow night. Don't forget, Jamie will be live sometime tomorrow, so watch for a post to say what time. I don't know if she's going to do my time or her time. But watch for her to post when she's going to go live, and she'll tag everyone. And then I'll be back after I do my little mini anniversary trip with my hubby. So thank you for watching tonight. I know it was a little bit painful with all the pausing, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate it. You guys have a great evening and a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.